G'day guys, my name is Wildkard, welcome back to my channel. Brumbies versus Crusaders, Super Rugby, round 13. The Wallabies B team versus the All Blacks B team. This was a huge match. I was looking forward to this match a lot. To be frank, I wanted both teams to lose because I hate the Brumbies and I hate the Crusaders, but someone lost, so I get to celebrate, okay? And there was the Brumbies. Brumbies lost. To be fair, the Crusaders... Okay, first up, let's have a look at this lineup on the Crusaders team. This is like... You can put this out as an All Black starting team. It's so stacked. It's ridiculous, okay? So let's have a quick look at the starting lineup for the Crusaders. Look at this. All Blacks, All Black, All Black, All Black. Pablo Matera, that is Argentina, you know, probably all better than an All Black, right? Ethan Blackadder, All Black. Brent Hall, I don't think he was in there. Richie Mwanga, All Black, All Black, All Black, All Black. This whole back line except for Brent Hall. All Blacks starting players. This was insane. And the Brumbies had quite a few, the Wallabies players as well in the back line, in the front rows as well. But yeah, the big thing going into this game is that the Brumbies had two key injuries. One, Noah Lolosio. He was not there to be able to direct traffic due to an injury. In fact, I think it was okay. He had like some injury protocol that he's not able to play. I think maybe he got a hit in the head. And then we had the other one, Rob Valentini, the big man, really missing his running game in the midfield. Really hurt the Brumbies quite a bit, especially in the first half where the Crusaders was really able to dominate quite a bit in the possessions and also the breakdowns. The Brumbies was not able to compete in the breakdown against the Crusaders again and again and again and again. They were getting turned over at critical times. Very good possession, very good positioning on the field. Gets turned over by the Crusaders at the breakdown. Yeah, so Scott Barrett coming back. Red card Barrett for the Crusaders is a big return. I don't know what people say about Scott Barrett. I know most people think him as, you know, a bit negatively. I felt Scott Barrett is one of the, you know, really key players that glues the Crusaders team together. He does a lot of work that you don't really see as like just hard, grindy, I guess disruptive work that he does that you don't really see a lot, but he does a lot of that really gives the Crusaders a lot more consistency across the board. Unlike last week, and for a few weeks now when Scott has been missing, Crusaders didn't have the issue where they were almost not warmed up for the first half. Like the Crusaders had a slow start for many weeks now, and it seems to be an issue with a consistent issue that's been hurting the team in the first half quite a bit. With Scott Barrett back the first game for like 4 weeks now, 3 weeks, immediately that problem was gone. And he literally set up the first try for the Crusaders as well, where he managed to pressure a charge down on the Brumbies side. So I thought Scott Barrett was really big return for the Crusaders as well. So there was quite a couple of big moments as well for the Crusaders. What's his name? Sevu Reece became the fastest person to ever score 50 Super Rugby tries in 40 games, I think it was. So he got that record, and Richie Mwanga ticked over 1,000 Super Rugby points as well in this match. So a really big game for both players, and they really kind of delivered as well. The Brumbies, I thought was, yeah, the breakdown was a big issue. They lost. The maul was stifled by the Crusaders. The Crusaders did really well. Like, yeah, something like Scott Barrett brings in that stability for the Crusaders. And also, I think he was the captain again, so he brought that leadership as well for the Crusaders. I thought he's done really well as captain for the Crusaders, especially last year. And also the set pieces wasn't going so well for the Brumbies throughout the game, and also the attack options without Lolosio, it looks a bit missing. And finally, the kicking game, the Brumbies kicking game was woeful. There were kicks by both Toms, Tom Banks and Tom Wright, just kicking it straight out outside their own 22. There was kicks that went straight up and came straight down and put all the Brumbies' own players offside. Just stupid kicks like that happened way too many times this game. So the Brumbies really got let themselves down in the kicking game, whereas the Crusaders had a really clear strategy with their kicking game, with Will Jordan, Richie Mwanga constantly trying to pin the ball down inside the Brumbies 22, really put a lot of pressure on the Brumbies. Towards the end, the Brumbies made a really big comeback. It looked like they could have potentially got themselves in a position to steal the game. So in the last 5 minutes, the Brumbies made like what? 4 line breaks or 5 line breaks. So it all started with Tom Wright getting an intercept try on the 71st minute. He ran the full length of the field. He had Richie Mwanga 1-on-1 at the end. He juke left, juke right, juke left, juke right, like 5 times to eventually actually juked. He actually juked Richie Mwanga to go in for a try. And the following that, the Brumbies were within 2 tries, converted tries range to beat the Crusaders. And they had so many line breaks. They had a line break on the 75th minute. It's got really close with Tom Banks. They got another line breaks on the 78th minute. On the 79th minute, they turn over a line out, gets another line break. And and they were not able to score. So it was just really, really good Crusaders defense. And maybe the Brumbies rushed just a little bit because the time is ticking out for them at this point. Maybe that management was a little bit of an issue. And again, the breakdown. They were not able to follow up on their own breakdown, getting turned over. Following these line breaks is something that you really did not want to do. And also, players are just not there in support. When they had these line breaks, it was just complete solo efforts again and again and again. So let's just have a look quickly later. Let me just quickly go through some of these line breaks, right? So basically on the 75th minute, Tom Banks makes a nice line break. He gets 5 meters short. He tries to link up. Nobody was in range. It was 5 meters short. Crusaders gets penalized for offside. And Brumbies gets an opportunity to go for a line out. They come in for the sets up on Moore. Whilst this Moore didn't go as planned, like it didn't go forward, but Crusaders were illegally binding onto the Moore from the side. So the referee, basically, the Crusaders at this point has been giving away way too many penalties inside their own 22. So the referee pulls the Crusaders aside, captain aside, Scott Barrett, tells him one more penalty here. Yellow card, right? Now this is 77th minute. Brumbies gets the ball. It looked like they're going to kick the ball out for another line out. Keep in mind, if this line out gets a penalty, it's a yellow card, okay? And it's something that could really, especially if you want to score 2 tries in 3 minutes, this is something that you kind of want to do. They fake, I kid you not, Ryan Lonergan fakes the kick for touch, takes a quick tap, and starts to run the ball. And then like 3 phases later, they get the ball turned over at the breakdown. So that was not very smart. But anyhow, the Brumbies kept on pressuring the Crusaders. On the 78th minute, Simone, the inside center, makes a really nice break for the Brumbies. Again, he ran like 40 meters into the Crusaders 22. He gets turned over because nobody followed him up. Fayanga Anuku gets the ball, and then the Brumbies follow-up team, one of the players, smashed onto him, and it looked like he knocked on the ball. I swear to God, he knocked on, and the referee just went, nah, no knock on. I don't know what happened there. Like, it was a clear knock on. So no knock on, and the Crusaders gets a penalty at the breakdown. And on the 79th minute, so after this, so they get a penalty, right? They get the ball for the line out, it's like a 45-meter line out from their own sideline, from their own try line. And the line out goes pretty poorly for the Crusaders. So the Brumbies turns over the ball from the line out, and the Brumbies actually makes a nice break following this line out for this poor Crusaders line out. And then again, I think it was Fayanga Art running down the sideline. He kind of gets the ball down the sideline, and he gets turned over once again. Nobody following him up. And Fayanga Anuku just picks up, the ball, literally the ball he gets tackled, the ball just sits on the ground. And the referee's like, ball's out. No one's there to break down. Fayanga Anuku just runs over, picks the ball up, punts the ball down the field. And, and there was a really bizarre finish as well. On the 80th minute, so Brumbies still has an opportunity to score, convert a try for a bonus point. So Brumbies has the ball inside their own half. They could still make a good attempt to score a try here, despite considering they have the momentum. For some reason, they get the ball, they just punted it away. It's almost like they just gave up. Kicked the ball away. Crusaders gets the ball. They're like, thanks very much. We'd like the game to be ended. Kicks the ball out. No bonus point. And that was really weird. Really bizarre finish for the Brumbies. Really poorly managed overall to that finish. Like you can see, 4 tries each. Crusaders had a penalty lead basically. It was on the Brumbies to come back. So overall stats, you can see it. The Brumbies made most of these run meters in the second half, like probably in the last 10 minutes, right? So at halftime, the score was 23 points to 5. And the Crusaders had 286 run meters to the Brumbies 217 at halftime. So full time, the Brumbies actually overtook Crusaders at run meters 579 to 430. Those last 5 minutes would have added like 150 run meters just by those from those like line breaks alone, right? Carries, Brumbies actually had more carries, 114 to the Crusaders 102. The turnover count 15. At halftime, the turnover count was 9 for the Brumbies and 5 for the Crusaders. So the turnover count way too high for the Brumbies, both halves, and especially those crucial times in the second half really hurt them towards the end. Tackle count 146 for the Brumbies to the Crusaders 168. 18 missed tackles to the Brumbies, 20 missed tackles, and kicks in play. Now this is an interesting stat as well. So Crusaders, like I mentioned, dominated the kicking game. And Brumbies has been known to be a very heavy kicking team as well. So Brumbies likes that kicking game, and the Brumbies are very good at the kicking game. And the Crusaders absolutely dominated the Brumbies. So full time, Crusaders 28 kicks to the Brumbies 19. At half time, Crusaders was already beating the Brumbies 17 kicks to 10. So the Brumbies was already struggling with the kicking game at the halftime, only got worse in the second half. Lineouts, once again, a big issue for the Crusaders. Cody Taylor had another bit of a rough game in the first half. One lineout loss in the first half, one lineout loss in the second half for the Crusaders. Two lineout losses for the Brumbies in the first half. But overall, yeah, there was one lineout that was really weird where Cody Taylor, he clearly booked it, but he just like, instead of like booking it, he kind of booked it, but he realized he booked it. He just like throws the ball basically to the just onto his own player's back, just like basically threw it onto the ground. It was really, really bizarre moment to see like someone the caliber of Cody Taylor do that. Penalty count, 7 penalties for against the Brumbies at halftime to the Crusaders 4. Second half, the Crusaders penalty count kind of picked up a bit. 11 penalties conceded in the second overall for Crusaders and 10 overall for the Brumbies. So yeah, let's quickly go through some of the key highlights of the game. And it was so right away, 3 minutes into the game, there was a 5-meter line out for the Brumbies. They were just they came out on fire. 5 minutes out of Brumbies, they go for a maul. The maul didn't go anywhere. There was really good defense on the Crusaders. Brumbies starts to crash the ball. Nick White gets the ball. Beautiful flat ball, cut one pass, flat ball to Simone. He runs at the Crusaders defensive line. He gets tackled short. He rolls over, slams the ball down. Looked like he threw the ball away, literally, but the ball touched the ground before leaving his hand. So first try scored for the Brumbies, 5 points to 0. 8 minutes into the game, Crusaders strikes back. Again, this is what I was talking about. Scott Barrett doing some of his pressure work. The Brumbies tries to clear out one of their own defensive lineouts, 5-meter lineouts. He's trying to kick the ball out. Scott Barrett charges the ball down, and then the Crusaders recovers the ball. Brumbies basically scrambling. Immediately, the Cody Taylor gets the ball, crashes over for the first try for the Crusaders. And then on the 14th minute, the Crusaders gets their second try on the ball. Again, Cody Taylor, he gets the ball kind of like in the center field position, and he grubber kicks the ball behind. Cody Taylor, the hooker, grubber kicks the ball behind, and Several Reese runs in up against the Brumbies number 10. So Lola Seal was there. So Brumbies number 10 was, let me get his name up. Rodney Iona. He just basically, they run into each other. It looked like Iona knocked the ball forward into the hands of Several Reese. Several Reese says, thank you very much. Goes in for the second try for the Crusaders. 14 points to 0, 14 minutes into the game. On the 18th minute, Crusaders putting some more pressure on, getting a penalty, and they're just happy to take the 3 here. So it turns out that was the right decision. Over the long run, these 3 points really ticked up. Crusaders, 3 points, gets back on the ball, 17 points to 5. 20 minutes into the game, Brumbies Yoni look really good, makes a nice line break, but he gets turned over on the breakdown. The story of the game for the Brumbies, getting turned over the breakdowns again and again and again and again and again. On the 25th minute, Simone drops a easy catch following a Crusaders kick behind, and yeah, this was really, really uncharacteristic. And again, the yeah, and then following this easy catch getting knocked on, Brumbies gets caught offside. The Crusaders gets another opportunity to take the kick, 15 points to 20, and this is the 1,001st. And yeah, this is a 1,000 points for Richie Mo'unga. He ticks over to 1,001 points following this kick. So Richie Mo'unga makes over 1,000 points. And on the 30th minute, there was a 5-meter line out. The Brumbies has a really good opportunity here to score a try. 5 meters line out, they drop the ball in the maul. Yeah. And then on the 35th minute, there was lots of kicking by the Crusaders, and they were able to really ping the Brumbies down into their own 22. On the 36th minute, this is where Cody Taylor, he booked the throws the ball on the ground essentially, and the referee didn't penalize him for that. Just like I said, it played on. Yeah, it was really weird. On the 37th minute, basically following this ball that's kind of thrown on the ground, the Brumbies gets the ball, and then Crusaders turns the ball over a couple phases later. Again, really poor breakdown, and then Nick White gets caught offside. So Crusaders kicks another 3 points, 23 points to 5, going to halftime. And those 3 penalties turns out to be the big difference between the two teams overall, basically. And then there was one conversion that was missed by Nick White at the start. On the 37th minute, the Brumbies came out of the second half, really came out the gate, really firing. The Brumbies just came out and just really fronted up in the hard running, just getting over the advantage line, keep those legs pumping, get themselves across the Crusaders defense, and just like that, building pressure. 47th minute, Simone, the number 12, gets the ball again, crashes in. She ran crash ball, and he just ran a tiny bit of angle, straight up Ethan Blackadder, who maybe overran the defensive line a little bit, tries to swing himself back in to tackle him. Nope, too quick, too fast, too strong, goes in for the second try for the Brumbies. Start off in the second half. And then on the 55 minutes, after this, the Brumbies was trying to keep building more pressure, and the Crusaders front up in defense and being able to knock the Brumbies off their literally at times out of the game, getting the ball off them. And eventually on the 55 minutes into the game, Crusaders gets another try. They had a scrum inside the Brumbies 22. Just nice little hands between the Crusaders centers, between Havili and Goodhue. And then eventually Mo'unga gets the ball. He runs in. He spins. He looked like he got held up. And the referee says, no, he was short. They pushed the ball back. And the Rock defense was pretty poor by the Brumbies. The Hall, I think what's his name? Brent Hall was his first name. The number 9. Brent Hall. Yeah, Brent Hall, he gets the ball. Just dots the ball down right next to the Rock. And there was no one there to defend. That was pretty obvious it was coming. The ball was visible. And yeah, and he just no one was there to defend this. He just picked the ball up and dots the ball down on the try line. And try for the Crusaders, 55 minutes. On the 60th minute, Brumbies had a nice line out inside the Crusaders 22. They go for a maul. The maul comes out quick to Ikitau, crash ball center field. He gets a bit short. And then the Brumbies just did a nice little switch inside. They changed the ball. They just switched the ball back in. I mean, not inside, back to the blind side where the ball just came from the line out, just came in, goes to the wing. Faenga, too big, too strong, crashes in, almost like a maul drive, crashes in for the Brumbies' third try. On the 73rd, following this try, Crusaders immediately strikes back. This is they call it a coach killer from the commentary. Kickoff on the Crusaders, and Brumbies player runs into their own from the kickoff, receiving from the kickoff. Yeah, it's just so bad. So the Crusaders immediately gets a penalty from the kickoff, and then 2 minutes later, Crusaders were right in the front foot, getting really close. And this, I criticized David Havili a lot. I thought he was not that great last year as a number 12, but he really showed something today. He gets the ball. David Havili, he literally drew 4 defenders. 4, the entire Brumbies backline was on him. And he literally had players hanging on to him. like trying to like shut him down, and he was still able to wrestle the ball out, makes the pass to the winger to Will Jordan, goes in for the try. This was really, really, really good effort by David Havili. I was clapping, and you know, I don't clap for David Havili that often, in fact, ever. That was like amazing play. He managed to freeze himself to get in for the try, and finally on the 71st minute, the Brumbies again get themselves turned over following some kicking game, and then the Crusaders on the attack. It looked like Crusaders wants to counter attack just inside the Brumbies half, and Will Jordan tries to throw a pass, gets read by Tom Wright, intercept, he runs down, jukes Muunga, left, goes in for the try, and yeah, that was really, really cool. So, and that's it. That's the last point the Brumbies played without struggling to the finish. Crusaders finished the game 37-26, and yeah, let me know your thoughts in this game, guys. I thought that was rather good from the Crusaders. I thought that was I thought that was good. I mean, David Havili actually showed something really good for me. He had showed some good kicking game today. Unlike the previous weeks, his kicking game was a bit weak. His kicking game was quite good this game, and also his running game seems to be picking up a bit as well. That ability, like, you know, I saw that offload for that Will Jordan try was something that I haven't seen him done, like something that good before. Roger Tuivasi-Sheck maybe not be able to take that black jersey from him so quickly. So yeah, let me know your thoughts about this game, guys. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the triple header weekend. And cheers. Thanks for being here.